Vladimir Putin just issued his most chilling warning yet about the future of human civilization, and it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons or military conquest. The Russian president has declared that artificial intelligence and Western technology monopolies pose an existential threat to global culture and humanity itself. But this isn't just philosophical concern from a world leader. This is Putin positioning Russia as humanity's defender against what he calls the digital cancellation of entire civilizations by Western tech giants. The scope of Putin's technology warnings reveals a leader who understands that the next world war won't be fought with tanks and missiles, but with algorithms and data. Putin warned that algorithms developed by Western platforms could lead to a digital cancellation of Russia and its culture, positioning artificial intelligence as a weapon more dangerous than any nuclear arsenal. When the leader of a nuclear superpower says technology is more threatening than atomic weapons, we're witnessing a fundamental shift in how global power struggles will be fought. Putin's artificial intelligence predictions from 2017 now sound like prophecy rather than speculation. Artificial intelligence is a future, not only for Russia, but for all humankind. It comes with colossal opportunities, but also threats that are difficult to predict. Whoever becomes a leader in this sphere will become the ruler of the world, Putin declared to Russian students. 7 years later, that prediction is becoming terrifying reality as AI systems reshape global power structures in exactly the ways Putin anticipated. The cultural warfare dimension of Putin's concerns goes far beyond typical geopolitical competition to touch fundamental questions about human identity and civilization preservation. Putin fears that Western tech platforms don't just control information flow. They control cultural memory, historical narrative, and the very definition of what constitutes legitimate knowledge. When search algorithms can effectively erase inconvenient historical facts or cultural perspectives, information control becomes cultural genocide. Putin's warnings about AI monopolization carry particular weight because Russia has experienced firsthand how Western tech sanctions can eliminate entire nations from digital existence. Russian banks, media outlets, and government services have been systematically removed from Western control platforms, demonstrating exactly the kind of digital cancellation Putin warns could be applied to any culture that challenges Western hegemony. This isn't theoretical concern. It's lived experience that validates Putin's darkest predictions. The timing of Putin's intensified technology warnings coincides with Russia's massive investment in indigenous AI development designed to challenge Western dominance. Putin plans AI boosts in Russia to fight unacceptable and dangerous Western tech monopoly, viewing technological independence as essential for cultural and political survival. Russia's AI strategy isn't just about economic competition. It's about preventing what Putin sees as cultural extinction through technological subjugation. The existential dimension of Putin's AI concerns extends to humanity's survival itself, with a Russian leader warning that artificial intelligence could literally consume the human species. Putin asked Arkady Volas, the head of Russia's largest technology firm, how long it would be before smart robots eat humans, revealing concerns that go far beyond cultural preservation to species survival. When national leaders discuss AI in terms of humanity being devoured, we've moved beyond policy debates into existential crisis territory. The geopolitical implications of Putin's technology warnings are reshaping international relations as nations choose between Western and non-Western technology ecosystems. Countries must now decide whether to accept Western AI systems that may embed cultural biases and political controls, or develop indigenous alternatives that preserve national sovereignty but may be technologically inferior. This technology bifurcation is creating new alliance structures based on digital rather than military considerations. The information warfare aspect reveals how Putin views Western tech platforms as weapons of mass cultural destruction rather than neutral communication tools. Social media algorithms that determine what information billions of people see daily represent unprecedented power to shape human consciousness and cultural values. Putin recognizes that controlling these algorithms means controlling how entire generations understand history, morality, and reality itself. The economic implications of Putin's AI warnings extend to fundamental questions about whether nations can maintain sovereignty when their information infrastructure is controlled by foreign corporations. Western tech companies don't just provide services. They control the digital infrastructure through which modern societies function. Putin argues this creates dependencies that can be weaponized for political control more effectively than traditional economic sanctions. The philosophical depth of Putin's concerns touches on whether human culture can survive the homogenizing effects of globally dominant AI systems trained primarily on Western data and values. If AI systems learn human behavior from datasets that reflect primarily Western perspectives and priorities, they may systematically erase non-Western ways of thinking, creating global cultural uniformity that Putin equates with civilizational death. The technological arms race Putin describes involves more than military applications. It's about preserving different models of human civilization in an age when AI systems increasingly determine social organization. Russian AI development focuses on preserving what Putin calls traditional values against what he sees as Western attempts to impose liberal ideology through technological systems that appear neutral but embed specific cultural assumptions. The educational dimension reveals Putin's recognition that whoever controls AI development controls how future generations learn and think. Russian investment in AI education and research represents Putin's belief that cultural survival requires technological sovereignty. Nations that cannot develop indigenous AI capabilities will become intellectual colonies of whoever controls the dominant AI systems. The historical parallel Putin draws between current tech monopolization and past cultural imperialism positions artificial intelligence as the latest tool of civilizational conquest. Just as colonial powers once imposed their languages, religions, and legal systems on conquered peoples, Putin argues that tech giants are now imposing their algorithms, values, and worldviews on digital colonies that have no choice but to accept Western technological frameworks. The surveillance implications of Putin's warnings extend to how AI systems enable unprecedented monitoring and control of human behavior and thought. Western tech platforms don't just influence what people think, they track how people think, creating psychological profiles that can be used for manipulation on scales never before possible in human history. Putin recognizes this as a threat to human freedom that transcends traditional political boundaries. The creative destruction aspect touches on how AI systems may eliminate human creativity and cultural production by replacing human-generated content with algorithmically produced alternatives. If AI systems can create music, literature, and art that audiences prefer to human-created content, entire cultural traditions may disappear not through suppression, but through obsolescence. The temporal dimension of Putin's concerns recognizes that cultural influence through AI operates on generational timescales that make resistance increasingly difficult over time. Children growing up with AI systems absorb their embedded values as natural rather than imposed, making technological cultural influence more permanent and comprehensive than traditional propaganda methods. The ultimate question Putin poses isn't whether technology will reshape human civilization. That's already happening. The question is whether multiple models of human civilization can coexist in an AI-dominated world, or whether technological monopolization will create global culture uniformity that Putin equates with the death of human diversity itself. His warnings represent perhaps the most sophisticated analysis of AI civilizational implications from any world leader, even as they serve his own geopolitical objectives. Putin's vision of humanity's technological future is simultaneously paranoid and prescient, combining legitimate concerns about AI's cultural impact with self-serving arguments for Russian technological independence. Whether his warnings prove prophetic or merely manipulative, they've identified fundamental questions about technology's role in human civilization that no other world leader is addressing with comparable sophistication or urgency.